welcome back to Press Review. Some interesting developments in the Middle East. We will be joined later by Oksana Goksel to tell us more. But before we get there, let's start as usual with the front pages here in the UK. Starting with The Guardian, which leads the headlines saying that patient records will be sold to drug and insurance companies. Information including mental health conditions and disease such as cancer, as well as smoking and drinking habits, will be made available from March at a fee. One medical professional defended the scheme as an absolute commitment to transparency. The Scottish Herald writes that university professors are receiving above-inflation salary increases, which has led to many of accusing them to hypocrisy and greed. The Herald also features a headline about Vladimir Putin in reference to Scotland's independence. The Russian leader emphasized that sometimes there are benefits to being part of a single, strong state. The Times continues coverage of sex abuse scandals, saying attacks have taken place on hundreds of boys in elite establishments, many of them public schools and particularly boarding schools. The paper also says that French President François Hollande has told France's First Lady that he needs time to decide whether or not to end their relationship, while Paris Match reports that she is a broken woman. And The Telegraph says that British people fighting in Syria are being trained as jihadists and then encouraged to return to the UK to launch attacks on home soil, according to an Al-Qaeda defector and Western security forces. The paper also features that benefits claimants will be forced to sit a test showing that they can read, write and do maths in order to claim benefits, in a move designed to challenge the Tories' popular welfare policies. Anyone who does not show basic competency in literacy, numeracy and IT will be sent on training programs. And now let's take a look at the top stories in the Middle East. A headline on the Daily Star reports that Iran will attend Geneva II without preconditions and says gunmen in Libya have abducted a South Korean trade agency official in Tripoli. The Oman Daily Observer features a front-page headline saying various projects had been approved funding by the country's Al Rafat Fund and revealed an array of programs for the upcoming Muscat Festival. And the Jerusalem Post reports that Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper was given an elaborate greeting by Netanyahu, who had declared, "You are a great friend of Israel and the Jewish people." The paper also reports that the joint plan of action, which will allow Iran to continue research and development on nuclear centrifuge technology, will begin today. And the UAE's Gulf News reports that compulsory military service for Emirati men has been endorsed. Voluntary service has also been introduced for women aged 18 to 30. And now let's take a look at the top headlines from international papers. The Moscow Times writes that Russian delegates at this week's World Economic Forum in Davos could have to field uneasy questions about the country's economic slowdown at a time when Western economies are regaining their confidence. And an article on the front page of the New York Times says Iran's invitation to Geneva II has raised objections from the US after Iran refused to accept preconditions for the talks. The paper also writes that the local Sunni tribal fighters in Iraq's Anbar province are being given weapons by Iraqi military officials in an attempt to fight off militants in the region. And the Times of India features a headline relating to Indian national politics. The front page article says that politician Narendra Modi has called the Nehru-Gandhi family as elitist and casteist with a feudal mindset. And the China Daily features a headline saying that Premier Li pledged more policies to facilitate startup businesses, a move that would promote innovation and ease job hunting worries of college graduates.